Hey everyone, welcome back to Homestead Corner. Today I've got 5 sad facts about food storage. So today I thought we would talk about 5 sad facts about food storage because everybody is out there saying that you need to start a food storage. If you don't have one, I definitely think you need to start one. But the reality is food storage is not perfect. There are issues with it, but it is very important to have it, I believe, because of all the issues that we're going through in this country right now and around the world, really. There are so many issues and there's so much on the horizon. We need to be ready for this. And part of being ready for that is having a good, solid food storage. But having those inconvenient things and those sad facts, I thought we would just talk about them a little bit, especially if you're new. This is really geared towards new people, this list, and anybody that has been doing this a long time. I'm sure you already know these things. The first thing that I think is really important to take into consideration when you're doing food storage is it takes up a lot of space. Food storage is not something that you're going to put in a bag and stick it in the corner and not notice it. For a decent food storage, you want to have a decent variety, and this takes up quite a bit of space. You're going to need some space to put your food storage, whether it's, a couple different closets or under the bed. You can split it up all over the place. I think that is a great idea. If you have more than one location, that is even better, because having it in different places is going to make it better for you. In case something happens to your food storage, you are going to have something else to fall back on until you can figure out what's next. So remember, food storage takes up a lot of space. It really does. And the second thing that is a sad truth is it does not taste the same as fresh food. I have been eating food from the pantry my entire life. I don't mind the different texture of it. When you get fresh carrots at the store or a can of carrots at the store, those are two totally different animals when it comes to taste. They don't taste the same. So if you're used to eating all fresh foods all the time, and all of a sudden you're thrown into eating canned foods and dried staples, and then they do have a different taste. They're not bad. I don't think they're bad at all. And I think you can do wonderful things with your food storage when you just put some effort into it and get creative with it. And having a lot of spices, lots and lots of spices, is really going to help your food storage. I will be the first one to tell you that no one has enough spices, I don't think. We all need more, including myself. We need lots of spices, especially if we're down, something happens and we just have that food storage. And, let's say it happens in the middle of the winter and fresh foods are not available. We are only going to have our food pantries. Having those spices will be wonderful to help kick up the flavors and things like that. So just remembering it's not exactly the same as your fresh foods. I love to eat fresh foods as much as possible, but we do eat from our pantry just about daily. We have at least something comes from the pantry. The third thing, most food storage, you cannot just buy it and forget it. A lot of people think I'm gonna fill up 4 totes of food, one for each person. We'll just stick it in the corner and I'm never going to think about it until we need it. If you are putting canned goods in there, any kind of prepared like box foods, rice-a-roni, anything like that, those are great for your pantry, but you can't just let them sit and forget them. They're going to go bad eventually. Cans rust, they leak eventually. So making sure you're rotating, and rotating can be a pain in the butt, but you want to make sure you're rotating them out. So if your plan is to have, a tote of food for each person in your home, take those canned goods out and put new ones in there and eat those canned goods up once a year, or every 2 years, maybe. take those out. But then you've still always got it there. You want to make sure you're rotating it. And if you have a large pantry, things get shuffled around, especially if you're not the only one in there. I have a husband and 4 children, and sometimes I find stuff in random places. I don't know how it got there, and they move things around, or they'll put it in a different area. They'll push it back to the back of the cabinet, and I won't see it. And unfortunately, you know, hopefully I find it before it goes bad. But I have had things go bad because they got moved around and I wasn't aware that they were there. So you can't just forget it. And rotation is really, really important for number 3. And number 4, your food storage is not indestructible. Natural disasters are going to happen. Floods, hurricanes, you know, volcanoes, anything, you know, anything can happen at any time, really. And your food storage is going to be there. But if you're storing in glass, I love to store in glass because I like that it's, you know, clean and good. And I love glass containers and they're reusable. But those containers can break. If we had an earthquake, we could definitely end up with broken jars. The food can be destroyed. Floods can destroy and wipe out your food storage. Unfortunately, if your food storage gets flooded, it's definitely going to be a problem. Nothing is off limits, really. We have to remember that it's not indestructible. It can be damaged, but we want to take care of it the best we can and make sure that we have it when we need it. Number 5, and this is a pretty big one. A lot of people, they will buy the number 10 cans or whatever size can and freeze-dried food and stuff like that, and it says it has a 25-year shelf life. It does under the right conditions. If we are storing it in our attic and it gets really, really cold up there in the winter and then it gets really, really hot up there in the summer, that food is not going to last 25 years. That's going to degrade the food and reduce the time that it's good. It can go bad if, you know, it's having big temperature swings, if it's exposed to air, if something gets punctured or knocked over and opened, things like that. Moisture can destroy your food. There are things that can happen to it, and those 25-year foods, and even, you know, your rice and your beans, if they are stored properly, cool, dark, dry, and airtight, those are the parameters that you want. If you've got them in a really hot, stuffy apartment, they're probably not going to last as long, unfortunately. Not everybody has the ability to have cool, dark, and dry all the time. Those are going to be your best conditions, though, and that's going to help your food last the very longest that it can. So making sure that we get them in there, or we're aware that it's not going to last 25 years. It may only last 20 years or 15 years because we want to make sure that we're using it up. Those type of 25-year cans, a lot of times, even I put them away and I don't have to worry about them. I don't think about them. I'm not rotating them. They're just there for the emergency and when we have to have them. But making sure that they're in those proper conditions so they will last the very longest is going to be the best. And one little bonus thing, I know a lot of people do not think about protection, but yes, you need a gun to protect your food storage. In a long-term emergency, people go crazy. They're going to run out of food. They don't have anything stored up. Most of the population has nothing, and they are going to be looking for food, and you need to be able to protect it. You know, I think a gun is a great self-defense, great for, you know, keeping in your home. Make sure that you're ready to protect your property and your family. But not everybody is going to have one of those. They may decide to go with some other type of protection, and that's definitely a personal choice, but you're going to need something. If you are, you know, if a war broke out and all the grocery stores are closed or something like that, a major supply chain issue happened and everything is closed, there's no food available for people to buy, they're going to start looking for food. Whoever's got food, and they're not going to care. They're just going to come after it, and you really need to be prepared to protect it. And a lot of people don't want to think about that, but the reality is it's you or them, and you have worked hard for this to protect you and your family, and you're going to have to protect your food storage and your family. I think that's really important. And that is it for my 5 sad truths about food storage, and a bonus. If you have any other sad truths that you'd like to add to this, please put them down in the comments down below. There are always things that everybody can learn, whether you've been doing this since last week or since 50 years ago. You know, we all can learn stuff from each other, and different things can definitely help out. So leave a comment down below about a sad truth that you know of, and that could help somebody else. And if you haven't started a food storage yet, please get it started right away. I think it is really, really important. Between food shortages, all the problems going on in this world, everything that happens every day, there's always some kind of crisis or disaster. We need to be ready. It could be us next. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.